purpose of this demonstration is to walk through closing eligibility for the 1915I in the 1915I web system. I'll share my screen and pull up our test environment. Upon pulling up the 1915I web system, it will default to all applications in the left-hand side. And you're able to sort by application ID number, member name, Medicaid ID, spaces ID, or maybe you want to look at status reasons, or maybe you know the date you created the case on. The easiest way I find a case I'm looking for is by a member name. So I'm going to select the drop down and sort A to Z. Then you'll see at the bottom you can search. These letters at the bottom will pull up last names. So I'm going to select J. And I'm going to close this case for George Joy. So I will select the application ID number to open up the case. And I'm going to identify any eligibility criteria that this member no longer meets. You'll update their Medicaid dates if they're no longer Medicaid eligible. We'll select the range and an edit button will appear. If you select edit, you're able to edit these dates. We'll select the calendar. I guess it's going to pull all the way to the 999 year. So it might just be easier to click and type it in. We'll say maybe this member went off eligibility. Since the start date is only 2/1, it's going to have to be within days here. So let's say maybe it ended today for some reason. You can type in that date and click save and close. And you'll see under our traditional Medicaid dates, it's now been updated to 2/3/23. If you need to edit this, again, you select this date range and an edit button will appear. Maybe this individual no longer meets the federal poverty level. Maybe their income went up. So we can select no, they no longer meet that. And you just get a warning here that the federal poverty level must be at 150% or below. We'll scroll down. We're going to select our status is going to change. We're going to close eligibility because they no longer meet the criteria. Then we need to select our reasoning. They no longer met the federal poverty level and they were no longer Medicaid eligible. We'll have to scroll down here and update our 1959 eligibility dates. Say eligibility ended. You'll update these dates per our policy on the 1959 website. It's not going to make much sense because we started this on 2/1. But just keep in mind the end date must be the same as the review date. So as Medicaid closed on our policy states, 1959 eligibility will close on the same date. So we'll just say that, let me select that. I gotta go back to pending to get my dates to edit. We'll say it ended on the 3rd. And again, your end date must be the same as your review date. You can select these dates by using the calendar icon or typing them in. We'll go back up and select closed because they no longer meet eligibility criteria. And we will hit save. It's going to give me an error here. The eligibility date range cannot be greater than a year. Oh, I have the wrong year in here. And that is why we have these errors built in, and you'll see there's lock boxes next to these fields. I'm not able to edit them because they are in the closed status. So drop down and go to pending. These lock boxes will disappear and you will now be able to edit your fields. So we'll put in 2023, hit save, and hopefully it will let us pass. So no more errors. And the last step would be to generate your closure letter. Again, hit the 3 little asterisks up at the top, and you'll select Word templates. You'll have an option for your closure letter. I'll open the file, and you can click Enable Editing. You'll see here it'll populate the current date, and it's addressed to the parent legal guardian rather than the member. If you scroll down to the bottom, you'll just need to type in your zone information. And then you will save a copy of this letter in FileNet under short name 88. I just want to go back to the web system here. And just a reminder, when closed is selected and saved, you are no longer able to make changes. Again, you'll see these lock boxes on all these fields. If you need to make changes, simply select pending, and these lock boxes will disappear. And that concludes our demonstration for closure of 1959 eligibility.